Welcome back, Rankers. A lot has happened in search this week. A couple of asides. Google Insights for Search and Google Trends have merged, thankfully, at last. Google's got a new thing out to measure your tags with a thing called your tag container, but more about that later, maybe much later, like next week. But the big thing came out on the 29th of September when Matt Cutts just tweeted out, incidentally, he didn't put this on his Google Plus update, where he said, minor weather report, small upcoming Google change will reduce low-quality exact match domains in search. What does that mean? Well, an exact match domain is a thing like you might be selling credit cards, so you go out and register creditcards.com, or in the case here in Australia, realestate.com.au would be a exact match domain name. He then went on to say, new exact domain name algorithm affects 0.6% of English US queries to a noticeable degree, unrelated to Panda and Penguin. So at the moment he's saying it's only in the US, and I can confirm that today because some of the searches I'm about to show you will demonstrate that. But it's about quality. So he's saying if you've got an exact match domain and you rank for that keyword, so like credit cards or real estate or whatever it might be, and you have a low quality site, you're probably going to be affected by this change and you are going to drop for that particular phrase. Now, it's not a penalty. Google's not going to throw you out of the index or anything like that. They're simply changing the algorithm to get rid of low-quality sites that are ranking specifically for the domain name. We've seen this time and time again over the years. And in fact, I used to say back in 05, 06, go and register 2 domain names. Go and register one with your keywords in it, and then register your business domain name. And then you would just redirect your business domain name to the keyword-rich one, because Google gave a lot of weight to it. And for the last 2 years, they've been saying, we're probably going to be turning down the volume on how much exact match domains give to the search results. Well, finally, they've done it, in the US at least, and a lot of people are screaming over there. It's hit a lot of people that make their money from this sort of thing. In Australia, I've been looking at because this affects a lot of businesses. This affects the domain name resale industry, or sale industry, or domain name auctions, because all of a sudden exact match domains aren't going to be as valuable unless you're putting good content and regular content behind them. So what does quality mean? Let's have a look at a couple of searches, and I'll show you what I mean. This is a search for credit cards, which we've done before, which I always find interesting because it's a good barometer for a highly competitive phrase. And you can tell it's a highly competitive phrase because of all the ads around it. So people are spending a lot of money, even if you didn't know that credit cards was a competitive phrase. So you come in here and you can see that, I'll just go to a clean browser. You can see in credit cards that we've got Bankwest, as we've talked about before, mozo.com.au, as we've talked about before. But the third one is creditcards.com.au. Now, if you go to that site, and Google talked about quality earlier in the year, where they said, if you've got a lot of ads, if people have to scroll a bit to find your actual content, that's not a great experience for the user, so we're going to consider that to be low quality. I don't know if this one falls into that. This is built by a company called OMG, a big online marketing company in Australia. Because this information, you could argue, is quality information. It has to be updated regularly. So I'm not sure whether this one's going to get hit, but there's a couple of interesting things in that a lot of sort of repeated content at the top of the page in, balance transfers, all that sort of thing. Interest rates and those sorts of things are different. Linking out to a lot of the same sites. And then you get to content right down here, so down the bottom. So we have to scroll to get to that. Will Google consider that low quality? Well, only time will tell if they actually roll out this update to Australia. If you go back and then have a look at the rest of the ones, the one I find really interesting is this Woolworths Money. You may remember we talked about a site, I think it was late last year, called everydaymoney.com.au, and we found that there were a lot of backlinking techniques that, on the face of it, breach Google's terms of service. So you could essentially say that Google probably should have slapped them. They've since got rid of that site, and this is the site that replaces this. This is about their credit card. And Woolworths is one of Australia's major retailers, if not the major retailer. If you go to the site and have a look at the site, it only has the word or the phrase credit cards on the page twice. It's got it up here, and then it's got it down here. It hasn't rendered properly on this occasion, but It's down here. So that actually renders better than what it is at the moment. I don't know why it hasn't. But it's only got that phrase twice. But then if you go to a site called tagcrowd.com, it will give you an idea of the keyword density of a particular page or the keyword prominence of that page. And basically it looks at frequency and then draws you a nice picture to show you which words are most prominent. And you can see there, right there, even though the phrase credit cards only appears twice on that front page, guess what? It's the most dominant phrase after Woolworths. Okay, so they've got keyword density right. Not a lot of content there. There's only about 70 pages of this site, actually not TagCrowd, Woolworths, actually in the index, okay? So not a heap of content, whereas that one we looked at before, creditcards.com.au, there's about 500 pages in the index. So that's pretty good. So what else are they doing? Well, you say, well, surely the only thing left that they must be doing is backlinks. Well, you'd be wrong. People say backlinks, backlinks, backlinks. You need thousands of them. You don't. This site has got 5. So woolworthsmoney.com.au, according to Majestic SEO, which is a paid tool that looks at backlinks, says that Woolworths Money has only got, well, 4 backlinks. But look where they're from. They're from a site called Credit Card Finder, which is a major, major credit card site. And they're getting it from woolworthslimited.com.au, which is a major site. It's a giant link pig because it's the corporate version of the brand. So they're getting some really, really good backlinks from only a couple of sites. They're ranking really well. So unless they're doing Black Hat, which I doubt, they're ranking just because of those things. Pretty simple, right? Now, if you go back and have a look at that credit card finder in the index, so we go site, credit, I should say creditcards.com.au, not credit card finder. We've got 500 pages in the index, and I would, once again, you look at the content on some of these pages, you know, Bank, Westpac, a bit of content up here, but then you look at all this stuff here. Is that low quality? Some of the pages have only got like this much content, and then they've got all this information. So I think they will be okay, but I could be wrong. But I'll tell you one that won't be okay. This is a search for the phrase laser hair removal. Now, I know little about laser hair removal, as you can imagine. This is all natural. But if you scroll down and have a look at the things that are ranking here, and once again, we'll switch back to our clean browser, you can see that the fourth site after Wikipedia and Places is a site called laserhairremoval.com.au. Now look at the description. A description for this result isn't available because of the site's robots.txt. Well, you're going to have a look at this is the site. Not a lot of content on that front page. Laser hair removal center in the page title. So you say, okay, yeah, that's pretty good, or standard, you would say, to rank for that key phrase. But this is the robots.txt. So what that says is that they are banning any search engine from going and looking at that site. So the only page that this site actually has in the index, well, it doesn't even have a page in the index because it's blocking. So all Google knows about is the domain name. And if that's the case, what else have they got to go on? They can't rank it on content or, you know, keywords, or, you know, even backlinks would be questionable because what are the backlinks worth if Google can't laser removal? What are the backlinks worth if Google can't actually crawl the site? I would say diddly squat. That means nothing. There you go. Repeat the search for the terms omitted. Same thing. And basically, when you see that, they're saying none of these mean diddly squat, or they all mean diddly squat. Not sure. But anyway, and you can see the same description. So this site, if Google rolls out that algorithm in Australia, will disappear for that phrase, and I dare say anything else that they're currently ranking for, which I doubt they're ranking for anything else because Google's got nothing else to go on except maybe laser hair removal center. Anyway, hopefully that's helpful. Next week's show is coming to you from Thailand, and we'll see you then. Thanks very much. Bye.